The first mistake. The Varen mind cloaks were arrogant even by galactic standards. To them, lesser races were not enemies but toys, creatures to be dissected, harvested, or mocked. Their empire had grown fat on conquest, not through fleets and fire but through their most feared weapon, the mind reach. A single Varen Inquisitor could shatter the psyche of an entire colony by reaching into minds, twisting memories, burning away willpower until entire populations kneeled. It was not a beam, nor a blast, but a psychic invasion, cold tendrils of thought that left nothing untouched. When humanity entered their notice, it was not because of warships or weapons. It was because of one ship, one envoy, and one human caught in the Varen's grasp. They took him alive. They wanted to know Earth's secrets. The Varen commander ordered it casually, as though commanding a cup of wine. Peel his mind, he will resist but briefly, then Earth will be ours. The alien Inquisitor placed his clawed hands on the human's head, opened the psychic floodgates, and screamed. Aye, echoes of ice and fire. At first the Inquisitor saw fragments, oceans in storm, forests aflame, and the sound of drums echoing across millennia. But as he pushed deeper, the images sharpened. He expected fragility, a soft people. Instead, he drowned in history. He saw wars older than the stars, cities razed by fire, continents drowned in blood. He felt the iron weight of trenches where men did not retreat, even when their skis were painted black with shells. He saw mushroom clouds rise like false suns, entire generations standing beneath their glow, whispering only, never again. The Inquisitor staggered, but he pressed harder, desperate to control what he had unleashed. Then came the ice. Frozen wastelands where early humans fought not for empire but for fire. He felt the bite of starvation, the agony of spears driven into mammoth hide, the relentless crawl of survival carved into every neuron. Humanity's mind was not soft, it was stone, sharpened across eons. The alien tried to pull back. He could not. Humanity's memory dragged him deeper. Laughter in the void. The Varen around the chamber watched in amusement as their Inquisitor convulsed. To them, resistance was comedy. Humans had no mental defenses. They were primitives, still tied to soil and sea. But then they heard something. A laugh. It came not from the human's lips but from the alien's own mouth, forced out by the flood of memories. Not joyous laughter, but the hollow, cracked sound of soldiers who fought with bayonets in hand-to-hand mud, who sang while bombs fell overhead, who joked with comrades minutes before death. It was the laughter of a species too stubborn to break, too cruelly tempered to surrender. The alien's eyes rolled white. His claws pierced his own palms. He begged in his own language for release. The human, still chained, whispered only one word into the silence. Keep going. The galaxy mocks. The Varen broadcast the incident across their empire as a lesson. They claimed the Inquisitor had merely overreached. They mocked humanity as reckless, crude, dangerous only to themselves. Other species laughed too. They whispered in cantinas and courts, Earth is unstable, they are unpredictable, they are weak but amusing. The galaxy mistook survival for madness. They thought the incident was anomaly, not warning. And so they pressed harder. A trade ship vanished. A human envoy was executed on the floor of a council chamber. Colonies near the rim began reporting disappearances. Humanity's patience, long as it was, frayed. And in the silence of Earth's war councils, fleets began to stir. The silence before the storm. It began quietly. Communications fell silent. Outposts that once glittered with human ships went dark. trade lanes that pulsed with Earth's convoys emptied. The galaxy chuckled. They thought Earth had recoiled. But those who listened closely heard whispers. Something is moving, something vast. Then across every band of communication in every tongue of the stars, a single message came. Cold, chilling, final. Do not touch the human mind again. VI, the breaking of suns. The first retaliation came like a storm. Varen fleets gathered in arrogance, banners shining, weapons charged. They expected resistance. They expected desperation. What they saw were dreadnoughts blotting out suns. Human ships were not sleek or elegant. They were mountains of steel, layered in armor, bristling with weapons meant to end wars in hours, not years. When they opened fire, entire battle lines disappeared. Worlds fortified for centuries were reduced to slag in minutes. Orbital stations cracked like eggshells. Every time the Varen tried to strike at human vessels, they found their codes broken, their weapons turned against them. And in the middle of it all, human soldiers landed, not with banners, not with speeches, but with the silence of storms. Armored boots thundered across alien soil, unrelenting, unstoppable. The galaxy watched as arrogance was stripped away. VII, fire from the depths of memory. What the Varen did not understand, what the galaxy could not comprehend, was that humanity's retaliation was not born of rage. It was born of memory. Every strike was precise, every annihilation calculated. It was not chaos, it was history speaking. The humans fought as if every battle was Normandy again, every strike was Stalingrad. Every fleet movement carried the cold logic of men who once moved pieces across a nuclear chessboard. They unleashed horrors no other species dared to conceive. Kinetic weapons dropped from orbit that struck with the force of small moons. Cyber plagues that turned fleets into drifting coffins. Soldiers who fought until their veins emptied, and then kept moving. The Varen mind cloaks tried again in desperation to invade a human mind. The Inquisitors died instantly. VIII, the ashes of the Varen. The Varen Empire collapsed in weeks. Their worlds burned not because humanity hated them, but because humanity refused to be mocked again. In their final broadcast, a Varen survivor whispered in horror. They do not fight for conquest, they fight so they will never kneel. And then silence. Where once the Varen banners flew, only ruins remained. The galaxy, once entertained by Earth's defiance, now trembled. IX Aftermath of Fear. In the quiet that followed, there were no declarations of victory. Humanity did not boast. They did not raise their flags over alien ruins. They simply rebuilt what was theirs. But in every shadowed bar, in every alien court, in every whispered council, one phrase spread like fire. Never provoke Earth again. For the galaxy finally understood. Humans carried ice and fire within them, a memory of survival that no mind could endure. Their patience was vast, but their vengeance was infinite. And somewhere in the deepest corners of space, Inquisitors swore oaths never to touch a human mind again. Because one alien had tried, and barely survived.